right, good evening. Welcome to the February 6th Clark County Fire District 6 Board of Commissioners meeting. I'd like to call this evening's meeting to order and ask that you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This time I'd ask for any additions to this evening's agenda.
I do not have any.
None here. Okay. We'll need to read and approve, post as necessary, the minutes of our January 17th regular meeting.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence this evening. I didn't see any correspondence included in the packet.
None.
Thank you. Citizen communication. Citizens wishing to communicate with the board this evening who are viewing tonight's meeting can do so using the chat feature that will be monitored throughout this evening's meeting. Committee reports this evening?
There are no committee reports.
No committee reports. All right. Moving on to the consent agenda.
I found it interesting that AMR only had 2 responses over 10 minutes.
For priority 1, 2, and 3s.
Yeah.
So not, but we don't look at.
But that's pretty good. Move for approval.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Chief's report.
So we have a lengthy personal action report. We have Paul Olafson announced his retirement effective February 29th of 2024. We have Nick McCarty, Jeff Peterson, John Bacon, Scott Squires, and Scott Mucci, all with 15 years of service. Brady Beto, Max Olson, Chris Wolf, Jordan Iremonger, and Michael Reamer with 6 years of service. Clayton Morris, Michael Garrison, Anthony Culper, Sarah Merrick, Brandon Bohart, Russell Franklin Lyons, Gary Stallings Jr., Cole Edgley, Travis Mayer, Eli Cass, and Patrick McGreevy, all with 3 years of service.
All right, cool. Well, thank you all for your service and congratulations to Paul on his upcoming retirement. Moving on to the facilities update.
So the Station 61 remodel is well underway. The HVAC is currently in progress. Rough electrical is complete. Drywall has been installed in approximately 50% of phase 1. The windows are all installed. Siding should arrive this week. The foundation for the physical training room has been poured on the duty crew side. The fuel tank is on site and is set to be placed. And the old generator has been located to a temporary location while we wait for the new one to arrive. We're just waiting on ordering the furniture from the owner furnished contractor installed items, and we're waiting on that until we have storage for it. Station 63 storage building. So the retaining wall for this is scheduled to be poured Wednesday. You will see in your board packet a change order in the amount of $63,187.83 plus tax. This is to do a structural backfill on the retaining wall. There's an explanation of why that's necessary, but both Chief Hebert and Chief Newberry went through that proposal diligently and agreed that it needs to be done. Part of the reason why we have problems with that retaining wall is because of the long delays with the county, allowing that soil and dirt to be out in the weather and the elements, and it's just too wet to put back in. So they did look at some alternative measures that they could do that were more expensive. So we think this is the most cost effective. And then today you'll see a proposal for some updates within our fleet. So that is it for the facilities update.
I'm disappointed that we are spending a lot of money.
Disappointment.
There were some mistakes made somewhere, but have to have a wall. There was one there, right, that came down.
It was just a berm, it was a hill.
There was no wall.
So we did have a cinder block wall over
Right.
the course of it, but yeah, it didn't cover the whole area that we needed.
And the move triggered, I think, the 4 feet when it needed to be moved.
We had to move
Trigger.
that created a problem. Okay, you've already gone ahead with that, right? We don't need to approve that.
It's later in the agenda.
We need to accept it. Okay.
That's okay.
All right. Thank you for that update. I didn't see any old business listed. Moving on to new business, vehicle purchases.
So just so the board's aware, the way we budget for items is we anticipate what our expenditures are gonna be for the year and we build those into the budget. So when I come forward and ask you for these purchases, they are already budgeted. And then we'll have our final budget presentation for you at your next meeting. So these have all been calculated into that final budget. That being said, we've been on the waiting list for the CARS system, which is the state purchasing system for 2 new Explorers that we were gonna add to the fleet. That's been taking over 1.5 years and they're not coming available. They just opened up Ford F-150s that are crew cabs. We want to put a canopy on them. We actually feel that those are a better fit for the training division. So we'd like to be able to purchase 2 of those Ford F-150s that will be assigned to the training division off the CARS list. The second item that we're looking at is I'm sorry, those are all gonna replace the current Ford Expeditions, the 2006 and 7 white Expeditions. Those are past their serviceable life and high mileage. The other one we're looking at is to replace Chief Russell's vehicle with a Chevy Tahoe similar to mine. The reason for that being is the Chevy Tahoe is a bigger command vehicle. He tends to drive dignitaries and other people around, and then just to take command of fire scenes, which we expect Chief Russell to do. We want to put him in a bigger vehicle. What that will do is that will move his current Explorer down to the PIO spot because we needed a replacement for the PIO rig as well. That estimated cost is about $89,000. And there's a typo in your board report where it says 85, but it's sitting at 89,000. We currently have it open for bid on the district's website. We're going through the bid process with this one because Tahoes aren't available on the CARS website. And we will that bid process with Brian Snur, legal counsel. So I'll let Chief Heber go over why we're looking at these vehicles a little bit more and answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, after meeting with the training captains and talking about the capabilities that they have at all command crew captains who carry turnouts, and our thought process is why shouldn't we increase our response capability? If they have radios in these rigs, they have response capable. If they're en route to a meeting, if they're en route to a training event, something breaks, we're going to direct them to respond to those incidents and assist either as a field incident technician or safety officer or even a forward command in those types of situations. So I'm really looking at your training division as capable captains, but they need capable vehicles. So we want to outfit them code 3, and that way they can keep their turnouts at the back and not in their compartment. They can, if we do have a confined space rescue event or a tech rescue event, we can load up several firefighters in an F-150 and put turnouts in the back. They're just really good all-purpose units that probably better service than the Expedition.
For sure, I agree with that.
So the board chose to support the purchase of the 2 Ford F-150s. I would need to enter into a purchase order agreement with Bud Cleary, or I'm sorry, with the Bud Cleary Ford, yeah. In the amount of $119,070.07.
I would so move that.
Yeah, I'll second that as well.
Thank you.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I appreciate the explanation.
Yeah, thank you.
It makes sense. I think they're for training people. I think they're, you know, a lot more. One of the training people comes back right now. I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I appreciate the detail, the thought that went into it. That seems very logical. Is that, you need a second motion then for the additional vehicle?
Yes.
so moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Thank you.
So that been brought, it's on our website, and so you do notify places that we're looking for one, so they'll. Is that one also gonna be black or white or purple or what?
It's same as mine. It's supposed to be gray, but I admit it has a purple tint.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on to engine purchase.
So this is just for board information. This will be coming down the pike at a meeting in the future. But with the delay in getting engines and the purchases of engines, we needed 2 engines that we wanted to purchase in 2024 to put into service in 2026. If we purchase today, we can't even get 2 new engines in service till 2027, 2028. So we need to speed up our purchasing cycle from what we originally thought. The current price for a fire engine at our current pumper spec, which is a very basic pumper spec, but is 1.183 million per unit. So that's a little over 2.2 million for 2 engine purchases. We traditionally purchase through Pierce. Pierce right now has a deal that if we put 100% down, they'll take about 300,000 off the price of the vehicles. When we calculate that with what we would get in interest, just keeping our money in the county, it's about a wash. So we'll look at the best payment options for these vehicles. It may not be pay for them now, but put enough down that we can look at it in today's prices. I don't want to bring this to you for any motions today because staff is still working through some other issues, such as do we look at a different manufacturer? Do we look at refurbishing? And how do we build our fleet? So I just wanted to give you a heads up that this may be a purchase in the future.
Do we know any other departments that have done a refurbish through Pierce? And how was it? Because
Vancouver actually refurbished their truck and went really well. It was a good deal. Bolton Valley is starting to look at that. I don't know what type of units they have, if it was Pierce or other units, but I think with the price that and the delay in apparatus, I think it's probably a lot of people are looking at that route. Even if you get half of what the normal shelf life is on an engine, I think you're ahead with the prices of apparatus today. I mean, I don't think I'd do odd, I have a combination, but maybe a little bit of this and a little bit of that might really well service. But I met with Brad today and just discussed like the years, the hours on our apparatus, and then probably gonna start looking at some prices of what it would cost for our 2006 and some of those older apparatus.
I think it's at least worth looking at the price of the new, but they do, if they last another 10 years.
Yeah, and like the chief said, that Pierce, they're 3 to 4 years out once you order. It's hard to manage with that much time. We need these apparatus that come out that, the average apparatus are replaced after 10,000 hours, and I think one of ours has 9,000 hours, and that's you got to start thinking about that, and that's certainly not 4 years out. It's before that.
What is the city start running Pierce when they run it?
Pardon me?
What brand is the city running?
KME, we moved from Pierce to KME.
Price difference?
Yeah, I was just telling them that she was okay to share this. Okay, but yeah, I was just telling her, I talked to a KME rep today. They are 2 years out. They guarantee 2 years turnaround. And they're saying that with our spec, they haven't seen the full spec, so they don't want to go to it, but probably about $100,000 to $150,000 cheaper than the Pierce. And I don't know why that is, but it is what it is. So
I'm just curious. I know that we stock Pierce parts and Brad's certified to work on all the Pierce things. I was just curious if there was a huge money difference if we would have to take a look at it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And then just to keep the board appraised, we have been looking for a used truck, either a straight stick or a tiller. And so if that becomes available, we'd like to move fast on that option. And I budgeted 250,000 in our budget to cover a purchase of a truck. And then that would go to reserve if we could find one.
That would be a good thing.
Thank you for the update. Surplus.
There's a list of items for surplus in your packet that are no longer needed by the district. The board would need to make a motion to declare them surplus, and it's helpful if the chief can surplus at their discretion.
And I would make that motion. We declare the items on the list surplus and then she can dispose of them.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pay application for station 6-1.
So this is a pay application for the 61 building project. This is how we've been paying the payments on this project. This application is in the amount of $360,735.72. That requires a motion of board.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Public hearing for potential fire levy lid lift.
At the last board meeting, the board directed staff to start evaluating the need or assessing the need for a fire levy lid lift in August. We've been working on that. In order for the board to hear that, we need to schedule a public hearing. I recommend March 19th. That way that gives us enough time to put it on the ballot as well. And so that would require a motion of the board to schedule a public hearing for a potential fire levy lid lift.
And that would be that we schedule a public hearing.
I would second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
March 19th is fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Change order for Station 6-3.
And this is the change order that we discussed in the facilities project. Chief Heber can probably answer more specific questions on it, but in order for us to move forward with the project, we need to process that change order for the amount of $63,187.83.
Well, we don't have any choice.
Yeah, we're so full. We're stuck.
I'll make that motion.
All second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on, the board will be moving into executive session this evening. This will be in accordance with RCW 42.30.110 to discuss litigation. The session will last for 20 minutes. We'll reconvene here at 6:35. Board met in executive session and took no action. Roundtable good of the order?
I was gonna say last Thursday, Steve Newberry took time to take me through the remodel. Got to see what was going on, where we were time wise, all those sorts of things. And I really appreciated it, and I would recommend that the other two board members have time. It's kind of interesting to see,
I'll do that.
how things are going and some of the things we're doing. And I'm not sure the chief really wants her office at the front door, but that's up to her, so.
It's all surrounded by windows too.
Surrounded by windows, that's right. Anyway, I appreciated that. And I think they're making good progress and the fuel tank was there. The generator got relocated during this whole thing. There's a lot going on,
Yeah, there's a lot of activity driving by.
a lot of activity. So anyway,
I have quite a few things for
Good.
good order, if you got a minute, but I wanted to announce that Josh Matter got promoted to lieutenant in the Air Force.
wow,
So we just got word of that.
Congrats.
Yeah, pretty awesome. And he's serving right now, so. We promoted John Bacon to captain, he passed captain's test, so he will be effective March 1st.
Congrats to John.
Yeah. Chief Russell and I attended state ledge day, met with all of our representatives. We met with about 8 of them. Ann Rivers said to tell you she missed you. She hopes you come next year, so.
I started the town hall Saturday before, so.
Last week we had Counselor Sue Marshall right out with the crews. She actually got a lot of significant calls, got to see the delay in ambulances arriving on scene. Got to sit in on some of the training, so she had a great day. And the crews really enjoyed having her too and getting the opportunity to speak to her. Last Friday, Chief Hebert and I and Commissioner Losbeck attended the 452 banquet. Very nice turnout. They had 14 retirees that they honored, so it was a nice banquet. We got to be
Catherine.
invited. What's up?
Catherine,
And Catherine, yes, Catherine.
that was nice of them to invite her.
February 28th from 5 to 7 at the Porter Ridgefield office will be the public hearing on the tax increment financing proposed by the Porter Ridgefield. So if the board would like to attend, that's a public hearing meeting.
So that she sent it invited to us.
Yeah, I don't think that's the time.
Well, there's another EMS
Oh,
District
fine.
2 meeting.
Okay, I got
That's
it.
February 12th from 2 to 3
Okay.
at the county building.
Is that with all the county councilors or just the
It's just
Just
with,
EMS.
EMS district too?
Med-
And you're gonna go for sure with that. I'll try to-
Yeah, or Commissioner Haynes will go.
Oh, that's right, he was assigned.
Yeah, in fact, we met yesterday. I went at his place and had some good discussion around what the upcoming process associated with it and I think more will come after this meeting here on the 12th.
Okay, I'm gonna present.
Yeah, and I sent all three of you invites, so whoever, I'm not sure the rules and.
I mean, all of us could
We can all be there.
discuss district business.
That's all I have.
All righty. With that, we'll need to authorize payment of current bills, pre-authorization transmittal, authorize monthly commissioner compensation.
I mean, move for adjournment. Oh, so moved.
Second,
Sorry.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now you got to. That's why you're the chair, you remember. Right, remember.